Hello guys, this is Janvi to discuss about the upcoming World Cup and the injury concerns Indian team is facing at the moment. So, what do you think that Deepak Chahar have been ruled out recently and it's been replaced by Shardul Thakur? So, what do you think about the squad and their balance? It's how it's gonna turn out to be.
Actually, initially I thought that since Bumrah has been ruled out, Deepak Chahar would have been a great addition, and he proved his worth against South Africa. But yet again, another star pacer has been ruled out, and this might eventually decide the fortunes of the team because he was doing well. And the fact that Bumrah has been ruled out, Bhuvneshwar Kumar has not been living up to the expectations. So Chahar was like our option who could have easily started and bowled initially in the power play, and then we could have adjusted things because we had Arshdeep Singh as an option. So this is a big blow.
And Saket, what do you think that how the Indian team is going to lead their pace?
Personally, Deepak Chahar was a guaranteed starter for me after Bumrah was ruled out, because for me Shami was the secondary person and Deepak was the leading man to get that role. But right now it's pretty sure that Shami will be included into that squad. So now you have Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh and Harshal Patel as your fourth option. So it's a decent attack for me, but things can turn out like you never know what's going to happen. But the current lineup without Bumrah, without Deepak, this could be tough for the Indian side.
Actually, the fact that you said that Deepak Chahar was your guaranteed starter ahead of Shami, like what if Shami was not injured or Shami did not go through this COVID phase, would you have said the same, that Deepak Chahar is the starter, not Shami? Like, you just counted out one of the most experienced Indian bowlers in minutes.
Okay, so the thing is, even BCCI were not considering Shami at the first place. It was pretty clear from their setup that Shami was no longer in their plans. But he had a great rejuvenation during the IPL phase. He performed really well for the Titans and he started to create chances for himself on his own. But there was still a chance that Deepak Chahar would get the nod. But now, once again, as I said it before as well when we had a conversation, Deepak was my man, but right now you are left with no options.
So I would have still preferred Shami. Obviously he hasn't been picked by the BCCI and they kind of like sided him from the team, but fortune plays his part and he is fortunate enough to be in that squad. Eventually he might win us the World Cup, you never know.
Because we saw Shami playing quite well in the IPL for his team, and so his health issues were a bit of concern for the Indian team because we saw that he was not able to recover from the COVID, but now he is alright but still in the NCA and he has to give his last fitness test. So do you think after clearing everything he will be included in the playing 11?
Actually, he has cleared his fitness test at the NCA. He has travelled to Australia, but it is still a toss-up. It might be Shami, it might not be Shami as a replacement of Bumrah, because the BCCI is currently thinking it can be Shami or it can be Siraj. They have given the priority to Shami, and even the normal people, or so the people that follow cricket in this country would prefer Shami as the option. But you never know. I have seen BCCI take decisions that we can't wrap our head around. The fact, I guess you'll pretty much remember the 2019 World Cup decision where Ambati Raidu was a sure shot number 4, and ahead of the World Cup you say that Vijay Shankar is a 3D player and he gets in.
Just with this Shami and Siraj thing, you have Bhuvneshwar Kumar who is going to give you those opening overs, 2 or 3 overs in the opening spell power play. Do you think they would pair Siraj with Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the first few overs? Because that does not seem like a viable combination to me at the moment.
Yeah, I totally agree to the fact. I say that Shami should be the starter. Why I'm mentioning Siraj here is just because BCCI have done blunders in the past, and this will be yet another blunder. You can expect blunders from BCCI. They have proven that they tend to do blunders. Ambati Raidu was a blunder, and had he been the part of the World Cup, you can remember the semi-final match that we lost, the Dhoni run out. Remember, or just like try to recall that same situation and put in Ambati Raidu. He averaged around 42 if I'm not wrong. So he could have helped us get through that match. So that is just a blunder. I'm not saying Siraj is a better player and Siraj will go ahead, but you have to understand that BCCI takes call and it does not explain. The other day I was talking to Jishan, who works with us here, and he said that BCCI should explain their decisions. the changes that they make need an explanation. So I pretty much agree that if the board selects certain players, or if they change or reintroduce a player, or you can say replace an injured player, they should give an explanation, because at times people cannot wrap their head around the decision that the BCCI makes.
Yeah. So okay guys, with all these new names of all these pacers and bowlers coming in, so what do you think how the competition will pan out to be between them? Because it's Shardul coming in, and then there is Siraj, and then of course Deepak is out now, but it was always included in the squad. So what do you think how the pace is gonna line up and how the Indian team is gonna strategize?
See, I can't really tell you about what the strategy will be, but I can be pretty much sure about it that it will be 3 pacers, 1 all-rounder and 2 spinners. That is what they'll go ahead with. And yes, if the track allows extra bounce, then you might see 4 pacers in one match, but that is pretty much like a rare occasion, because you expect that you'll have 6 batters and then an all-rounder who can bat. Like, we don't have an all-rounder, out-and-out all-rounder apart from Hardik Pandya. So Akshar and Ashwin are 2 players who will swap places. That will be the combination. Shardul Thakur has made it into this squad
as a reserve player.
Oh, so he has made it as a reserve player.
Yeah.
So he's not still a part of the squad.
Yeah.
And even if he eventually makes it to the squad, he still does not start. He's nowhere in the thick of things.
Deepak was in the reserves, and Shardul is a like-to-like replacement for Deepak, because both of them pretty much came from the same CSK background.
Not really like to like, yeah. One is a consistent back of length bowler, and the other is someone who swings the ball. There is difference. I can understand
But the batting prowess.
What you're doing here is you're putting it the CSK way, and that does not work in the Indian team.
But then again, when you see them, let's say, put it this way, Deepak was someone who could strengthen your batting order.
Yeah.
And that's the same case with Shardul. He can give you those additional runs in crunch situations if needed.
Yeah, Shardul can actually be a better option with the bat in comparison to the options that we have in our squad. But he still is an out-and-out bowler, so can't really give him a spot in the 11 just because he bats better than the bowlers that we have.
So no, but we saw like the Arshdeep, the young Arshdeep performing quite well for Indian team as well. So do you think that the pace the pacers will be included in the team? So Arshdeep can be one of them.
Arshdeep is definitely one of them. He's guaranteed to start. At the moment, for me, he is the best bowler in that setup.
Yeah, like you're exaggerating stuff. He's still young. He has done well in 2 series. One is the Asia Cup, and the other is the series that followed it. But remember, he cost us the match against Pakistan in the Asia Cup. A dropped catch is a dropped catch after all, and that was the only big pressure match that he was in.
So he bowled quite well in the last over as well, because Bhuvneshwar Kumar being the senior bowler, and you are having all the eyes on Bhuvneshwar rather than the young Arshdeep, and he giving so many, almost more than 15 to 16 runs in the last overs.
I understand the fact that the entire nation shifted their emotions when he bowled a terrific last over in the last 2 matches of the Asia Cup.
Yes, exactly.
But remember the fact that it was Asia Cup, the biggest match that India was playing in a while, and this young bloke dropped a catch which costed us. I'm not saying Arshdeep is not a quality bowler. I'm saying that the pressure in the World Cup will be 3x what it was in the Asia Cup, and you can't say that he is the go-to man.
Yeah.
He's a great bowler. He has proven his worth. That is why he is on the plane to Australia. But ultimately, in the World Cup, Bhuvneshwar Kumar will be your go-to man. He has done it in the IPL numerous times. He might have been smoked for 20 runs in 3 matches on the 19th over, but he still is your go-to man in the absence of Bumrah. So he bowls at the death, he bowls up top. Arshdeep will be there to accompany him. Let's see what happens.
But then you have Harshal Patel in there as well, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned 15 minutes back that Harshal Patel is your 4th bowler, and now you're saying that you'll start.
But no, not as starting. I'm saying that if you are tinkering with the death combination, and in case you play all these 3 men, Bhuvneshwar, Harshal and Arshdeep, then you have that option that you can start with Bhuvneshwar. You can give Bhuvneshwar the first 3 overs in the power play, and you can have Arshdeep and Harshal in the death.
What happens in cricket is you might have 2 sure bowlers who bowl in the death, but you still want to have 3 options who can bowl at the death. So I don't think so Team India will go ahead with Bhuvneshwar Kumar bowling 3 overs at the top. He will still stick to 2 overs at the top, 1 in the middle when the wicket is needed, and 1 at the death. That can be the viable option
So do you
out.
think that he will be your go-to bowler in case of the death overs as well? Because we knowing the fact that Bhuvneshwar Kumar's death bowling we saw it in the Asia Cup, it was quite bad. So do you think that with the new ball, Team India will prefer him or with the death overs?
See, he will be the go-to man. When you said, do you think he'll be the go-to man? I purely think that he is the go-to man. He has to be the go-to man. He has done it for SRH in those situations. And like prior to this Asia Cup, you were pretty confident. Everyone here was pretty confident about the fact that Bhuvneshwar Kumar is your go-to man. All of a sudden, a player gets smoked for 20 runs in 3 matches, and people in this country start crying about the fact that he cannot bowl at the death. Like, he has been doing it for years. He's a quality bloke and he will deliver. Because eventually, when we look at the thick of things, like the entire thing, that the drama that is going on, it is around the bowling unit. If the bowling unit does not step up, irrespective of the fact how big your batters are, you will pay. So they have to step up, and Bhuvi has to step up. He has to prove it that 3 matches will not define his career.
Okay. And how much do you agree with the fact?
See, I am very skeptical about this thing at the moment. For me, it's more like a scenario because Bhuvneshwar has been a great servant for India. He has performed well, he has given you those clutch matches, those clutch wickets. But as of now, the momentum factor comes in for me. He's coming off a bad phase. Maybe he'll come very well and he'll give you those great overs and those death overs. He'll pick those wins for you. But I'm still skeptical. India may or may not trust him with that situation.
You are trusting him. Your sentences say that you are trusting him. If you trust him, you should believe that India will trust him. You're saying that he will deliver in the death. What else do you need from him? Be to the point. You're talking about being spectacle, and then you're saying that you'll trust him.
Pretty sure the only. Let's reiterate this way. Okay. Bhuvneshwar, if he does not perform well in the group stages in the first few death, if there is a big if here, I don't think going forward they'll trust him with the death scenarios.
See, I'll not say anything about the first match against Pakistan because everyone in this country will believe that India are the favourites going into that encounter. But let's be honest, Pakistan is the favourite this time around.
Obviously.
So if things go bad in the first fixture, please don't blame me. I am not here to be blamed about that. Things can turn out bad against in the Pakistan fixture because they are pure favourites in this fixture. They have a bowling unit that can destroy India's world-class batting unit in seconds, and it has happened in the previous
edition of the World Cup.
Yeah, previous edition of the World Cup where the big boys, the so-called Virat Kohli's, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul's disappeared and we were smoked.
Yeah, and also I think so that the openers, if you look at the batting side of Pakistan, the openers Rizwan and Babar, how they're going to play a very important and vital role in the upcoming World Cup, because I feel the batting most of the time depends on these 2 big names.
Yeah, it's not just Pakistan who depend on their top order, it's India as well who depends on the top order. And like in T20 cricket, majority of the teams are top heavy. There are a few teams that have like batsmen who can bat up to number 6, like pure batsmen or world class batsmen. Like I can think of the South African team. They have, apart from the opener, I'll not name him, but apart from that single opener, they have all quality batters right down to number 6. England also have a team that is full of quality. Like Michael Atherton this morning was questioning a place of Ben Stokes in that lineup. Yeah. So that suggests that yes, England has a quality lineup. When it comes to Pakistan, it is that these 2 blokes, Rizwan and Babar, have been super consistent. And what happens is when 2 players at top are super consistent, your middle order is not exposed to those situations often. This has happened with India in the past, where the top 3 did the bulk of scoring. Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, they dominated ODI cricket for years, and the middle order was not tested. That is why we eventually ended up losing the 2019 ODI World Cup, because our middle order was not tested time and again. And when the time came, we failed.
Also, what do you think that the encounter between India and Pakistan, do you think that the Pakistan will be, on the winning side, or it will be India?
I would rather refrain from making the comment that who will come out on top. But going into that,
Have a go. Like, why refrain from making a
I'll
comment?
refrain from making a
If
comment.
you're thinking that it is going to be Pakistan, say it out loud.
But Pakistan's bowling attack at this moment for me is coming out of top against the Indian batting unit. So it all depends if the Indian bowlers can step up to the plate and perform. I'll give you this, that the Indian bowlers will decide the outcome of that match.
Yeah, everyone pretty much knows that the Indian bowlers will decide the outcome. Okay, I'll add to it. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will decide the match. Because if
Brave statement.
No, if he gets either of Babar or Rizwan, then there is done.
It's a tad worrisome issue for Pakistan as well, because the last series that they had against England, they lost 4-3, I believe, at home. And the bulk of the matches where they lost, if you see, they lost Rizwan and Babar pretty early.
Yeah.
And then their middle order failed to get those runs. So that is an issue for Pakistan as well. Same with India. So only time will tell who comes out on top in these two teams.
Okay. I guess that is it for this live session.
Yeah. And we will be having few questions from the YouTube live.